There's this saying, my brother, that says that don't believe everything that you read in the papers. Do you believe that there is truth to what we publish in South Africa, especially in our newspapers?
There is truth. There's like 40% truth in whatever we read, I think, yeah. Like, stories, but at the end, like, there has to be salt, nyan, to keep you as a viewer, like, interested and want to read more about that topic, yeah.
Lose read one good newspaper and good social media, as you lose one in real life. But I something come out, but I also can something a different. So I don't think we're also need to go to tabbing. When it's up to you now, when it's sepa or how it's or you rather confirm that person if or or if it closely. That's the only thing you want to bet.
Where do you get your news? Do you get them from social media, or do you still go out like your dad to go buy newspapers?
No, mostly these days it's social media because it's broad. I go to social media, get more information there. Unlike the articles, man, it's always about one and the same thing.
I get a smartphone and then smartphone in like I don't see hurry no regular like leading newspaper because of smartphone.
Do you think that as young people we are also partly responsible for fake news because we sometimes don't check the stories that we share?
Okay, first things first, posting false things about people on social media is damaging a person. It's not only the reputation but the person emotionally and everything. So yeah, it is.
If mutuato share into or ashoka yon, that means kintu na yunza wish all along. So I sometimes we feel like kintu or maybe it's one or maybe umam kubosi vele. So kitela or no publish it.
It's very dangerous for our youth, you know. So we need to teach them like most of the stuff, like what is it about journalism? It's not just about making fake news, selling, yeah, you know, promoting yourself to get jobs. Yeah, it's not just
bigger than that.
Sanibonani, welcome to Daily Thetha. Igama lami Kini waka Shandu and namhlanje sikhuluma about tabloid as uzibonela abantu abaningi bayakhala ke abanye bayashuthi they believe lezi zinto abasobe bezibona kubhalwe emaphepheni. But umbuzo omkhulu kwesinye isikhathi, where do you balance ama-fact ey'torini ezahlukahlukene, because often we sivuka nje kuseni uthi uyabona ephepheni kubhalwe into ngawe kuthiwa awutholakalanga ukuthi uzophawula ngalolo daba lolo. Uthothi umuntu yakhala ethi cha akusikho kahle kahle, but ekugcineni nakho konke amunye umuntu uzokutshela futhi ukuthi this is what people want to read about. And Nicolette, but that's exactly what you want to read about. All these other stories asinindaba nazo. That's what we're going to be finding out namhlanje. Nasekhaya as well ungasifonela but into ebalekile na audience yethu ukuthi yini lento abafuna ukuyizwa kangaka ngabantu abathize. Sithi ngempela ngifuna ukwazi Nicolette uhlala lapho ugqokani uhamba ngasikhatsini ulala ngasikhatsini, or there are more stories that singakwazi ukufunda ngazo emaphepheni. Nicolette bayabhala ngayo Nicolette what akusikhona.
No, thank goodness, not celebrity, so they don't write a lot of stuff about me. But Kini, I must tell you, this is probably my happiest Monday.
Yeah.
Well, couple, Ifedi, do you know how great that is?
Why are you so happy?
We have remotes back. We can now now. Oh, Nicolette and
No, that's when sizocala sesibhala ngani ke manje.
Yeah. But that's what we're talking about. Daily Thetha. Do join conversation on any of our social media pages. Just remember to use the hashtag Daily Thetha or kana or phone 011-339-1315. But for now, let's welcome our studio audience. Kini now, what do you think tabloid journalism king? What is it? Rumor, is there facts? Is there truth to it?
I think it's everything. Yes. Like ban loko batsala sulusi basleketako sungana intiso sungana intiso. So I'll just say it's everything.
Is it fair though if accentiso?
Okay, if it's not true, it's not fair. But sometimes we want to hear about our lives, our celebrities, how they live, and how they enjoy their lifestyles.
Yes. Kini, my mother always used to say, where there is smoke, there is fire. Yeah. And I'm glad that we do have some of the journalists that rule. It didn't allow some of the tabloids to understand is it the truth? Just to make the story a little bit more sellable?
And some people, but they cook these stories. But that's what we're going to be finding out from Mashile now. And I'm trying to just tell you good. But come on about this. But I do have order. Mfunuko go na siswam ugutuena yinle engaga ofuna ugizwa ngabantu obathandayo. That you think if wabona nje front page ikhuluma ngobani, I'm going to buy that paper.
All right. Enkosi budwa mna into endifuna ukuyiva like kumntu endimthandayo ne I have my role model and I love uDJ Zinhle. So ndifuna ukubona yonke into eqhubekayo elifeni kaDJ Zinhle. Ezinye izinto ezivelayo ngaye ne i-downfalls zakhe. Zezona zinmotivateayo namaphela life
Ama downfalls wakhe.
Ama downfall wakhe even if khona into mhlambe ebeyimvelele embi but then wakwazi ukurecoverisha kuyo so nami bona okay if uZinhle uDJ Zinhle naye une mistakes zakhe and uthe overthrow ezo mistakes zakhe so nami that means I can do it in life.
That's what I want to know because isikhathi esiningi we often blame lama phepha ukuthi why bebhala ngosibanibani why ngingabhala ezinye izitori ezakhayo but egcineni nakho konke it seems as if abantu ngempela yona lento abafuna ukufunda ngazo bu ngempela into enifuna ukuyazi ukuthi ubani ujola nobani wahlukana nobani or maybe you just want to find out the very much more nicer and positive stories about abantu laba osuke ubathanda.
Well, I guess sanibonani emakhaya masingabantu asifani Kini. So for me personally mina I'm always like inspired ukubona like the nice cars, the nice houses, the mansions, you know. I get inspired seeing that. Quite frankly, I don't care ukuthi ubani ulala nobani. I don't know about other people, but abantu bahlale bafuna ukuzwa ukungcola so that's what sells.
Awuthanda ukuzwa ukungcola wena.
Yeah, kancane.
It seems as if Nicolette abantu bafuna that dirty laundry as much as you can write a positive story but ekugcineni nakho konke balifuna that other side. They want to flip the coin kancane bebone ukuthi Nicolette khamba kanjani empilweni yakhe.
Yeah, aribulisa Mama Khadi aribotsa gore na what type of newspapers do you read or the magazine ke di things udi balang?
I like gossip magazines.
Okay.
I also like inspirational magazines. On gossip magazines, I like them because of Uthola Mkosi. Mkosi once in a while, it's nice. Yes. So Mkosi once in a while, it's nice. And then on inspirationally, then you have to be inspired each and every day when you wake up.
So Mkosi, unahana gore there's a line that sometimes the journalists cross that should not be crossed.
Yeah, there is a line that they should not cross because I think but Baba Buankabona. Baba Ngwalanka Koti magazine, they are human beings at the end of the day. They have feelings and then they have emotions. So they should consider their emotions and feelings when they write about nasty stuff because of most of the time when you read a tabloid or what, negative stuff, you know.
Abuti Esau, because Esau is a journalist. Abuti Esau, are you looking for the stories that sell the newspaper or lingwala anything that comes to your desk?
Sanbonani Makaya. Well, basically, see, we write about everything. It's just so unfortunate to go tabloids. Most of the stories rather, is the Aguma front page. It's it's negative news as people bash, but then we do try to balance because as much as Sizopala isn't as in Bisiapala isn't as right. Yeah.
But listen, is right. Is their figure la front page? Is it right?
Yes. Yes, they do. For instance, as it's Namusha now, Nicolette is getting married.
Yeah,
that's public interest. And is figure na kanjani.
Mara maseng divorce na kona izopuma.
Exactly.
Izoba front page food.
But Nicolette, you could see no publicity. It's bad publicity.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think that's what we're going to be debating.
Let me quickly go again to Putsao.
Yeah.
Just a quick one, Putsao. Do you also consider my feelings all over in Palangai, or you don't care? As long as when you're done with your story, let's story so Demecha Ganjan, if family yake, abazal bake man abazalo unkoskazwa. Do you even look at that point when you're writing stories?
No, we do actually. That's why Sizo contact her, We even mention Emma Pepin. Uguti, you are not available for a comment or you refused rather to comment.
Oh, okay.
But
because
we do.
When do they contact you?
But I've had a lot of those stories where back to our tolagalangu to uza upawole patikirina kong if on your coach I ringanga na ringa. If that's the kind of sneakers I call it 01133911315 must be a breaking so best na banta mas paralizitori na glaba sa kwa bhala ngabo as well good bafila kanjani about this tabloid journalism esibona njengamanje yenzakala emaphephe nakho kahlubene asamse breaking table after this. Welcome back to iDaily Thetha. Sabuka izinto ebhalwe emaphepheni namhlanje yona into esibheka kakhulukazi and wanna find out exactly ukuthi abantu bafila kanjani mase kubhalwe ngaphepheni. On the couch we do have Sis Lerato Mvelase. Ongomunye wabantu one stories esikhulu afuna ukusichazela sona ukuthi sometimes you go to these papers for interview enye and okubhalwayo kube even half of what, not even half of into obukade nizoyikhuluma. Kusokwenzakala kanjani esimeni sakho? Take us through ukuthi kwenzakalani wena because you have a very deep story to tell us.
I did. Can I mention the? No, I can't. Okay,
No,
I did an
mention the
interview.
publication
Yes,
now, please.
I did an interview with a certain magazine, and sakhuluma for I think over an hour on the phone, speaking about my music.
Yes.
As you know, I'm branching into music.
Yeah.
Sakhuluma njengamnandi angibuza ukuthi what inspired the song, what is the song about?
It's ting.
You know, it's ting.
Yeah.
Ngiyamchazela yonke leyo nto. But by the time ngibone article, in fact, my daughter is the one who saw it, and she's like, "Mommy, you're on the cover of a magazine. How siyathenga lapha egarage?" Ingane yami opens it and reads the first sentence, and I was livid.
Sure.
You know, ngifonele ke lengane who calls herself a journalist, and I explained to her, I was like, "You're not a journalist. You know, journalists baba nama ethics. Bayahlonipha. I journalist ikhuluma nawe ibhale lento ikhulumile. And if there's anything they would like to add, I would like to believe they would call you and say, listen, I would like to take this angle. Is it okay with you?" It wasn't done with me. I think this child decided, you know what? I need drama. So this story needs some drama. Yes, you know, I need some drama. So obviously she created this drama about me coming into the music aggressively. You know, and for me, you know, I found it very disrespectful, one. Secondly, I found it, you know, to be distasteful, you know, that after all these years, I've never had an article written about me, about my personal life in that light. You know, the issues that I have with my ex are personally that. They're personal, and he's my ex. Why would I even mention him in my work?
I just want to find out, lento ayibhalayo, lento osuyibona ephepheni, is it something mhlawumbe nayikhuluma off record, ukuthi we just talking off record? It's no longer about interview right now, or it's something now, or has come up zonke le story?
You know, first of all, I believe impilo yam, my personal life, it's exactly that. It's personal. If I want to discuss it with anyone, I'll go to a therapist, ngihlale therapist phansi, or psychologist, ngidile neyinkinga zami. Kodwa there's no need for me to go to the media to discuss my personal life. I'm in this industry, which is my acting, my performance, my singing, and that's what it's about, and that's what I'll stick to. You understand?
So when Sis Lerato, how can I go to interview? Do you create boundaries? Do you say to the people, I'm willing to go here, I'm not willing to go here?
Exactly. That's exactly what I've always done on all interviews. You know, and if it comes to my personal life, they will explain, we want to talk to you about the kids, or being a single mom, or, you know, are you okay with that? And I'll say, because I know my story will touch someone out there. But what is the point of me being a public figure, putting my reputation in the line? You understand? I'm not a child who's looking for attention. You know, I've got all the attention. Me walking into a room, somebody goes, "Oh, there's Lerato Mvelase." So why would I need to create drama around my life? I've got children. You know, I've got a reputation that I've worked so hard to, you know, to uphold.
So take us through conversation ya gago le this young journalist. So
Yayifuna lengane.
She doesn't remember college.
Yayifuna lengane. Ngisazoyithola lengane.
Yeah.
Ngimtshelile ngathi ngisazokuthola sithandwa sami. And ngisazomhlalisa phansi to say, you know, when you guys go out there and study journalism, I would like to believe that people, there's a code of conduct that you uphold, you know. And if you're looking to be a paparazzi, I believe anybody can be a paparazzi. Anyone in this room can walk and say, guys, mina ngifuna ukuba out there ngifune itori, ngicheck out Lerato nobani ukuthi benzani ema restaurant nan. But if you want to study to be a journalist, you know, you have to understand that there's our personal lives as people in the public need to be respected. You know, we go through, you know, this young woman doesn't know what I'm going through in my personal space. You understand?
But maybe just put a twist into a story. Personally, we deal with content a lot, and we see content everywhere we go. Sometimes I'll be chilling with my friends at the braai, and then someone talk about divorce. I'm like, let's actually have a show that talks about divorce. And even a journalist sometimes, maybe what we don't see as a story, actually this is a good story compared to what you're giving to him. Don't you think it's their job as well to do such things?
I completely disagree. You know, first of all, a lot of us in the public space, and I'm talking actors, I'm talking socialites, I'm talking anyone who's known. There's, you know, there are people out there who are okay with their personal lives being, you know, put out there or create drama and it doesn't make me a better person. I'm not saying, you know, because I don't want my personal life being told in the media makes me a better mother or a better, you know, woman. No, I'm just saying there are people out there who are willing to share, you know, who are happy to have drama in their lives. But I can't do that because I have a responsibility to myself, to my reputation, to my family, to my children.
But also, can I just ask you something? I'm curious about something. Did you feel you were betrayed because you guys had this conversation and you had discussed what you wanted to be in that article and she went in a different direction? Because I can assume as a public figure, they write about you all the time. Yes. Is it because this time you literally gave this person time to give them information and what you had wanted?
I mean, I'm here right now. I'm giving Daily Thetha my time. My kids are in the dressing room right now, you know? And for me doing that, it's out of the respect that I've got for the call that you guys gave me. Yes. And I would like to believe that you guys should have the same respect for me. You know, to say, we want to talk about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you comfortable? If I want to create drama, guys, all I need to do is take a picture on social media naked, post it, Guinea drama.
Quick fast.
Quick and fast. You understand? I don't need to bring up people who are not part of my life.
I think what we're going to be finding out as well is we're going to find out from the editor as well. How do they approve it as well? Let's go to Santin. Dini, welcome to Daily Thetha.
Hi, how are you?
We good, and yourself, Mama?
I'm great, thanks. You know, I was just thinking that I'm a celebrity. They go through a lot. And gune paparazzi everywhere, you know. So I just feel that they need to ask for a permission from the celebrities before they take pictures and they write negative stories about them. Because after all, like, we are all human. You know, and imagine their families, their children. So I feel that if paparazzi wants to expose them, permission first. Don't just post pictures of some celebrity and the negative stuff about them, you know. I feel like, but they need to be respected also because they are celebrities.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You know what, Nicolette, before we go to Emmanuel, because I'm going to leave the microphone to Emmanuel, because I want to comment here on this one. When you sometimes understand, but your family don't. And they don't. And after 3 months, what do you think it's over? And stuff like that. But let's come to you, Emmanuel. Let me find out from you. Do you also consider feelings or for you it's about making front page and getting that story to be published?
No, it is not always about making front page. What you must understand is that when someone like Lerato is a public figure, they don't enjoy privacy rights, unfortunately. And once you step into the public eye, as a celebrity, as a politician, as a sportsman or woman, you must immediately recognize that and realize that.
Right. But some people don't want you to come into their space, and they make sure that they even protect abantwana. Some people don't even post their kids because they don't want you to start asking about them. Do you respect that? Guti Lomuntu is only giving us, let me say, he or she is a musician. This is music, that's what I'm selling. That's what you guys need to write about. But you go beyond that. You want to find out when Zagala Nekaya.
The South African press code is very clear on issues of kids. We do not report on kids. We don't write about them unless we get permission from their parents. So if a kid which is someone between the ages of 1 and 18, we don't mention them, we don't identify them, we don't mention them by name.
But I've seen stories that involve kids. Come on. I'm sure some of you guys saw the stories.
Well, it depends on the guidelines of that publication, but personally from Sowetan, we do not do that.
Okay. All right, let's see what's coming up further in the show.
There's a human being writing behind that. I don't think anyone gets a kick from destroying another person, but if a story is there, it's there. Maybe someone really likes Shandu, and her dumping a fiance means that someone else has a chance. You know what I mean?
Today,
I'm at the offices of Daily Sun and Sunday Sun. I have the luck of being joined by a journalist who does entertainment for both Daily Sun and Sunday Sun. This is Lerato Mazuso. You guys are being called tabloid journalists. Why do you think you guys have this name, tabloid journalists?
Tabloid means short, it means sensationalism, it means straight to the point, which is a form of writing. That's tabloid. So being a tabloid journalist doesn't mean you're a bad journalist or you are writing about no, it's a form of writing.
What is the purpose of a tabloid, tabloid journalism? Because I understand that with business, we're dealing with business issues. Is it, as some people would term it, to diminish people, to break families, or to bring this vile sort of news to communities?
The person that started this paper, Dion du Plessis, who passed on, his vision when he started the paper like 13 years ago was to teach the man on the street to read English. Hence, it's so simple, it's straight to the point. Although obviously over the years the paper has progressed, especially the Daily Sun, and then which then gave birth to Sunday Sun. So Daily Sun, when it started out, it really was not about to demean people, it was telling people stories. That's why we are the best-selling daily newspaper in the country. So it means 200,000 people are picking the paper up and they're buying it. I don't think anyone would pick up a paper if it's going to demean them, but it's because it's still relatable stories. These are stories that are told by people.
I saw a headline, Tando Dam's fiancé.
Yeah.
You understand? So what sort of process do you guys go through to then find out what happened between Tando and the fiancé? And do you actually, go through that process?
We are governed by the press ombudsman. So in those laws, obviously, that is when people are free.
Do you break them sometimes?
No, I mean, okay, everyone bends the rules. Everyone wants to push that envelope because we want to give people the best. But most of the time, what I always say is, if you are a celebrity and there is a story about you, and you know that it's not there, why not say there's nothing like that? So when you say no comment, what does that mean? And then you go and you rant on a Twitter. No one is calling you and saying you did XYZ. We said, hey, look, we got wind of this information and people are saying this, or this person is saying that, or a source. And people don't realize that most of the time, the sources are actually the celebrities.
For you, Lerato, where do you see this culture of entertainment, tabloid, whatever you want to call it, going in Africa and South Africa?
It's not going to go anywhere. It's only going to grow from here. However, I see more digital taking over more than print, obviously because of the shift. But print is going to be around for a while.
That is all I could get here at the Daily Sun offices. I think I've made it in life. Let's go back in the studio.
Welcome back to Daily Thetha. These tabloid journalists, are they really for real? Let's start there. Are they really for real? And what they write, is it really factual or is it some manufactured story? Because most of us, hi man, more something which is salacious and something that is rumors, but is it really a brand of journalism? We are joined on the couch by Emmanuel Chia, who's a tabloid journalist and also a gossip columnist at Sowetan. And then we also have Tate Regina Moalusi, who is the editor-in-chief of Daily Sun and Sunday Sun, and also an executive member of South African National Editors Forum. Welcome to Daily Thetha.
Thank you for having us.
Before Takolona, ki bone Aus Lerato a shake tlhogo ga shebile insert man. Aus Lerato, problem iko kae? Please just pass the microphone to yeah.
It saddens me that a newspaper that is read by so many people, which should be empowering my people, is being used. One of the things the lady said is so that people can read English.
Yeah.
And how is writing tabloids or made up stories and sensationalizing celebrities' lives or known people's lives, how is that empowering our people? If there's young women out there who look up to me and any other known person, how is that young woman meant to see my success and respect it and understand that every single day Lerato Mvelase wakes up and works hard to make the craft as great as she could, without her having to create drama in her life or doing, getting naked or whatever has been written about.
Here is the editor-in-chief. Perhaps he can respond to that.
I think let's start there. Lerato herself would admit that same paper has written numerous times positive stories about her, lovely stories about her. And to be fair to Lerato, you pick up, the journalists pick up, the phone, they call Lerato always comments. We have written positive. I think the latest positive story we wrote about Lerato was the Senyaka piece. Let's go back to what Lerato started on. the fact of the matter is the Daily Sun, much as it's so popular, we cannot discard the fact that it got so many people to read. People who were illiterate, people who could read but they were not or interested in reading.
So it played a social development.
It played there. And it's been the paper for the past 16 years. Next week we're celebrating 16 years of the paper. It's been a paper that said, we're starting this paper because we want to change people's lives. That's why the paper, and if you speak to anyone out there, they'll tell you that this paper has helped people beyond just the writing of the story and the publishing of the story.
But Reggie, let me just ask umbuzo mhlawumbe ngicabanga ukuthi ubalekile so ukuthi siwazi la ukuthi how much journalists can push the envelope, because I know that they can push it, but how far can they go? Because abanye babakhala ukuthi emaphepha njengala abulala imndeni uqobolwayo, abulala ingane ingasakwazi ukuya esikoleni ngenxa ukuthi kubhalwe ngobaba isiya subjects ezinye zizoyihleka esikoleni. How much a journalist can push the envelope?
Well, look, journalists, I always say this, I'm a journalist. I'm a journalist who went to school, who got trained as a journalist. But the one thing, when I was a 17-year-old walking into that lecture room in Pretoria, one of my first lecturers told me, you are not a law unto yourself. I don't wake up and think, as a journalist, I can do as I please. I can write as I please. No, it doesn't work that way. Emmanuel referred earlier on to the South African Press Code. That bounds us. There are organizations out there like the Media Monitoring Africa who are always telling us, guys, you are writing about children. And there's the South African Children's Act, and we can take you to task. We can even not take you to the press ombudsman, but we can take you to court. So journalists know that as a daily newspaper, as a weekly newspaper, we subscribe to the South African Press Code. So I'm not going to be saying, here's Lerato, private life, blah, 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 with her ex and their children, and you as a journalist, you want to sort of, disregard that and write about children. That's a no-go. Even for someone who's not even a public figure. We're not going to go out here and say, here's a child, and the child, out of this township, this thing happened to a child, and we just publish. We can't do that. It's called irresponsible journalism.
All right. I can go with you, Emmanuel. And maybe really well on the other side now of just the brand of journalism, tabloid journalism, right? How do other journalists treat you guys? Because I know that there's often that sentiment of, high nose up in the air, those ones who are in the mainstream newspapers that are not necessarily tabloid. How do they treat you guys?
Well, of course they look down on us, but hey.
It's business.
Yeah.
But
that's their own thing.
Do you guys regard tabloid journalism as a branch of journalism?
Of course.
Or is it just writing stories?
Of course. It might not be politically correct most of the time, but it's a form of journalism. At the end of the day, we strive for a free and balanced press in South Africa, and tabloid journalism does exactly that. We do give people a right to comment on our stories.
Tokoloshi is poking me.
Well. He can answer on that.
How does this now serve me as a person in the community?
Bona Nicolette, ditori tse di yalo selo se se botlhokwa ke gore a re le batho re le ba Afrika Borwa. Let's stop judging one another.
Yes.
Let's stop judging one another.
I
can sit here, I believe in Muti.
Yes.
He doesn't believe in Muti. I can step out of here and fall out of the stage and then ke se ke re ke a loiwa. Batho ba mpone mo TV, ba batle ke tlhagelle mo TV. And Emmanuel ke ene or because he's the opposite. So people believe in stuff. We Africans. And it's not your place, it's not my place to judge this person and believe in that. To say, what you believe in is not on. You shouldn't believe in that. So people come to you and...
Something in Flugibuza as well, because it seems as if these stories toll more attention, especially the tabloid stories. Do you think if we write about someone and give that negative story or just a tabloid story, do you think that gives more readers to you guys? Compared to just any other story, or just a normal story.
But you're suggesting that we manipulate the narrative.
Sometimes.
No, we don't. We never manipulate the narrative.
I'll tell you about the story that
never.
was on, what was your paper, Daily Sun?
Sunday Sun or Daily Sun?
It was Sunday Sun. It wrote about me and my accident. and they quoted the car I was driving, which is not a car. The direction that I was taking, it was not a direction. And I was like, okay. Because someone at the corner was, let's see, so I think on that note, I'm talking about something in no.
And when they called you?
They didn't even call me.
Oh.
But
So Kini, there you see it's simple. It goes back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
Your first port of call is you call the editor of the paper to say, dude, look, that story is factually incorrect. And before I go further, I want a correction. The facts are not that way, and I need this corrected. If the editor is all arrogant, doesn't want to entertain you, you say, okay, let me go to the press ombudsman. But before you even go to the press ombudsman, you can say, look, I don't even want to waste time with the press ombudsman. I've got money. Let me call a lawyer.
No, we don't have money.
Let's quickly read some social media, then we'll go breaking. When we come back, we must talk about that response and the correction, because it now no longer goes on the front page. Say, can I go page 7? Or to be fair enough, gossip columns are the ones that keep social media and tabloids news going on. But on the other hand, who are those journalists minding others' business in order to feed themselves? Job, and the job must be done. Please do stay with us after the break.
Welcome back to Daily Thetha. Sakhuluma about tabloid news. Abantu abaningi nanokuthi, where do you go? Let's say babhale ngawo. Can I demand a paper because we front page qala nale apology ibe front page as well? Can I do that? That's what we're going to be finding out. We do have Ubabujo Lahomo. Welcome to Daily Thetha, who's also a public advocate of the Office of the Press Ombudsman at the Press Council of South Africa, and that's what exactly we're going to be diving deep into right now, because can I really go to a paper in front page or all those things and more? But before we do that, let me just quickly get to Homoto social media. 90% of the news in tabloids aren't newsworthy until they give us something that we go through as a country, social issues that affect us as a country. I will find them satisfying, interesting. I mean, what newsworthy about creating a drama and throwing speculations? That's a hashtag Daily Thetha. Wow, I don't know about that, because people still buy those newspapers, because it seems it is newsworthy to me. Babucho, asibuyele back to issue ukuthi ngakwazi ngicela iphepha ukuthi ngoba lalikade lenza iphutha aliqolise kube front page futhi.
Thank you very much. I think the first thing, we need to understand the process of the ombudsman, how it works. I think Reggie got to the point where, he said, if you have money, you go to a lawyer. If you don't have money, come to the press council. We will assist you, and in fact, my role as public advocate is to actually assist complainants, help them, guide them in terms of what they can demand and what the prospects are of getting redress in terms of the complaint.
Let me make it easier, Babcho, because let's say a story is about me and it affects my wife, when I'm cheating with someone, and that igcine isihlukanisile ngempela umndeni, because now nkosikazi akazi ukuthi kuphi kumele akubelieve. Athina amandla ami lapho, because now I can say ukuthi umshado wami yaphela because of one article.
Well, the critical thing is where you're cheating.
So if it's true?
If it's true, the press code simply requires of newspapers, publications, to publish what is true.
Okay. But I wasn't cheating. I was seen with Nicolette. Nicolette, sebenza naye, but bese restaurant late. Now kuthiwa mina sengithola no Nicolette.
I understand that. I mean, those are the kind of stories that are often difficult to prove, unless there is substantial information that the newspaper has got. Chances are that they would lose that case, and they would be required to publish an apology. Now, let's come back. Let's come back. The ombudsman can direct. In fact, that is the term that we use. You direct the newspaper to publish an apology. Okay. Now, I think one has to realize that in the end, when a story is published, it's published on the merit of the stories that are there on the day. Okay. Now, if, for example, the story, the correction cannot in full be published on the front page, the ombudsman would direct that there must be a teaser on page 1
About the apology.
about the apology, and then the apology has to be published in a prominent manner. We can direct that the story be published on a right-hand page, top of the page, down the bottom, across the page, or whatever. There is, for example, a ruling which is the most current ruling from the ombudsman, where a newspaper has been directed to provide a full page of their newspaper on page 3, to publish the apology and to give the complainant the other half page to explain it's an issue about something in Artabias. To give those people, because they're having some development, space to write about their development and explain that to the readers of that publication, because the readers were given the impression that this guy was land grabbing and all of those kind of things. And there were even racist attacks. So that is one of the most extreme cases. But generally, I think people, we end up with happy chappies most of the time. And of course, if the ombudsman, if you feel that you're still not satisfied with the ruling of the ombudsman, you have the option to appeal.
I see.
Now, the appeal is heard by a former judge president, Judge Mwepe. And Judge Mwepe will look at the facts almost in a legalistic sense to say, did this happen? Is this correct or isn't it?
Reggie, in one of your interviews that you did with another media house, you spoke about anecdotes and the fact that sometimes the stories are anecdotal. I'm going to go back at Tabadi Tokoloshi. Le prova byang eo ka understand gore ma Africa, but ke batla tsbarna la di bona, you go there, because sometimes the headline, which is what you put on your front page, especially ko Daily Sun, ke re kenza front page, and by the way Kini, they always have an exclamation mark on Daily Sun. You put it on the front page, but gese ke ya the page, the story, it's not really, it's a misleading headline. So I want to know gore na la di prova, how does it work?
We can't, I think you're talking about street posters.
Oh,
yeah,
those
you're talking
two?
about street posters. Street posters are there, they're popular, people love them. But I mean, if ever you are going to take your 3.70 to buy the Daily Sun, and you find inside the paper, the actual edition, that this edition, this story is misleading, it's not what the poster says.
Yes.
You can even go to his office. You can even call me to say, dude, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Because the posters that are there, the stories that are there, there has to be a correlation between those two. There has to be.
Something, because let's say, for instance, that headline, Tokoloshi is poking me. The person story
that's why I use the word anecdotal.
Yes.
But it's anecdotal, and the person called the publication like the Daily Sun.
Yes.
Is the only publication that can entertain me.
That kind of a story.
That writes these kind of stories. And what should I do as a reporter going there? I should say, I'm at Nicolette's house in Sebokeng. Nicolette is telling me about this Tokoloshi. Let me laugh at you. Let me not believe you. And let me denigrate you. It's not about that. It's about to go there, be respectful, listen to this person. And that's why you see those stories all the time. We'll call externally, you know, like a sangoma to comment, to say, no, this person should follow blah, 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 and do this.
Okay. Ziyathusa zona ezinye zeyitolo nokuyibona because isikhathi uzothutolo should ukudla kanti umuntu akayithekanga icross ngalelo nyanga. Let me go to Azola. Let me come to you as a journalist also semncane as well. You were telling us before we go on air, Guti, this is what people want to read about and this is what you guys want to do. As umuntu osese journalist njengamanje, do you see future in tabloid journalism?
Yes, kakhulu. Even though media, I mean, even though abantu sebefunda kakhulu online, but then I say I'm a newspaper sizawuhlala for isikhathi eside because kuma newspaper lapha kubhalwa headlines my newspaper wona attract abantu kakhulu ukuthi bawathenge so nje isizobahlala for isikhathi eside.
Okay, a quick one, Reggie. Now we've seen journalists going from social media, they look at the post and then they make a full story out of it. How do you guys do as editors to make sure that lo mkhuba niyawuqeda or niba neyitori ngempela ezenza isense then ukuthi just post one ka Nicolette, that's a big story?
Look, it's been one heck of a challenge because it cannot be that Lerato is posting a picture on Instagram with Emmanuel and then the journalist assumes Lerato is dating Emmanuel. It's been one heck of a challenge, social media. There's also been the other coupled issues of fake news. But what we're trying to do now in newsrooms is to say, we cannot do Twitter journalism. We cannot be doing, that's lazy journalism.
Is that joke fake news in 95% of news and tabloids are not newsworthy?
Yeah, it's fake news. It can't be that 95% of it. Then they would stop buying that newspaper.
Yeah.
I mean, newspapers survive on news of whatever kind. Now, Reggie has his own way of looking at news. And that has been historically so. You know, the tabloid journalist newspapers where they originated in England, they were the newspapers that people bought because they don't have the space in the trains, underground or whatever, buses. So the papers were made compact. The serious newspapers, the guys who sat in the back seat, you know, with a chauffeur, those were the ones that...
I see. But so breaking njengamanje, and also after ulelate khulumile samuza ukuthi ukhaliswa yini nani when I found out from the audience ukuthi bona bacabangani, is it ninendaba ukuthi lo rato uphatha kanjani or sifuna ukwazi some separate siyabuya after this.
Welcome back to Daily Thetha. And tabloid journalism. What are some of the rules that they are not allowed to break? But I think we've gathered to know the DNA of these type of newspapers does work. And I mean, the business model, it's making them money. So the question is it going to become sustainable? But before we come back to you, we've got on social media coming in from Pin Pop Omuhle Duma. For me, journalism was once a true thing. But now all they do is gossip and take other people's lives down the drain. So all in all, this whole thing is just about lies mostly. Pin Pop, and I mean, as a veteran journalist, are you agreeing with Pin Pop? Journalism is dying. It's now just lies.
I wouldn't go so far as saying it's just lies. For the simple reason that, as Reggie said, you know, if a newspaper publishes lies, incorrect information, they've got recourse. And there is nothing as bad as being judged as being unreliable, publishing false news. Because what the Ombudsman's finding does, it actually says to all your readers that you have lied here, or you published incorrect information.
Can I put you on the spot, Tatejo? Are you happy with the journalists that we currently have in South Africa right now?
I wouldn't want to make such a broad statement. The level of journalism, and I think even Reggie as editor would admit to that, isn't what it used to be.
Isn't what it used to. What was it like before?
Look, I mean, there was greater checks, for example.
Okay.
You know, when you submitted a story as a journalist, it went from the journalist to the editor, news editor, let's say the news editor. The news editor would look through it. It goes to an assistant editor who looks at it, and then it goes to the sub-editors who look at it. The chief sub would scan it, look at it, and give it to another person, you know, to sub it and put a headline on. Then it will go to a revised sub.
Okay.
And then it will go to be set. They used to have those little machines.
Yes.
It goes
Typesetting.
Typesetting. And then it goes to proofreader. who makes the corrections, and once the corrections have been made, it goes back to reverse sub. So there were all these checks. Right now, we have a situation where, and again, Reggie spoke about, what did you call what journalism?
Twitter journalism.
Twitter journalism. You know, people pick up something on Twitter and assume that because they saw it on Twitter, it's correct. The same thing happens with Facebook. Because it was on Facebook, it must be true. Unfortunately, in most cases, it ends up as being fake news. And we, you know, as the press council, we're still wrestling with that, how to deal with it as this phenomenon develops.
But Bob Joe, if you look at it, isn't there anything say Shinchile, even if you look at cars, say Shinchile, but I don't know, would it changed for the better again when it comes to journalism, but that's maybe a question for another day. But let's go to a caller. Nkosi, welcome to iDaily Thetha. Caller? Nkosi?
Nkosi?
Hello?
Yebo.
Yebo baba, kunjani?
Ngikhona buthi man.
Cha, sikhona mfethu, quick one nje before ngoba nesikhathi sesihle kahle comment.
Buthi comment yami lana ukuchaza ukuthi ama-journalist awasi-create story from ekhanda kodwa ayasishisa kancane ukuze abantu bezokhona bathenge iphepha ngoba abantu base-South Africa it-seems as siyasithanda ikandali ngabantu thina.
So you saying ukuthi even kune-story esihle bebethi ukusifaka ispice kancane ukuze sikwazi ukuthi sinambitheke kwabanye abantu?
Benza kanjalo but any story zokuthi i-celebrity belisiza umuntu angeke bayenze loo nto leyo front page kodwa sabona i-celebrity yenza iskandalo ubona zonke entatheli segcwele lapha namakhamera into esiyenzayo leyo.
So you're saying ukuthi journalism seshintshile manje, it's all about negative stories. Thank you so much Brawam. Let me come to you Motewa, quick comment. You wanted to make a comment yakho namhlanje?
Yes, all I know is that journalists have freedom of speech just as much as the subject has freedom of privacy. But at the end of the day, especially for tabloid journalism, the point is to sell the newspaper. So whatever the story is about, basabamba my headline, and once bakbambing a headline, then you're gonna buy the newspaper and then you're gonna read it, and that's how the media grows.
Motewa, let's say someone umthandayo, if you read a headline and negative about that person, do you get excited and buy the paper, or you do a little paper or little publication?
I wouldn't say I get excited, but I get curious, and that's how I end up reading the story, and that's how the newspaper sells or the publication sells, because curious. They got that thing from me, be curious, and then
What do you say with someone like Lerato or Kalang, who was in Scat Lesintos Flumeza, Nanomde Guranko Kobolak?
Unfortunately, in the case Lerato, the journalist sat down with her and interviewed her. She should have gone back to her and asked her, can I take a different angle? Can I say this? Because we sat down and had a conversation. So she could have at least
I think maybe let's ask Emmanuel about bad publicity and good publicity. Do you guys care about it, or for you guys it's just about writing?
Look at the Storytelling. We pride ourselves with celebrating black excellence. Yeah, we do care about black excellence, and we pride ourselves in celebrating local celebrities.
Just now. Angim Piggies got that my last comment for today, Uguti. While people are out there, journalists are out there writing all these unnecessary stories, South Africa is going down the drains. Women are being abused, children are being raped, people are talking about getting our land back, young people need to get an education, and as a black society, we should be out there writing stories that will empower young people, empower young women, to make us a better people. While other people, other races are out there teaching their kids about the economy, teaching them about money, teaching them about all these great things. Tina si busy, get gossip,
Well, as curtains journalists again. Sekumele silivale uhlelo ngenxa yesikhathi siyashoka sithi ukwanda kwalo mthakathi bawethu isikhathi esidliwe nje Nicolette.
Yes, tomorrow we are focusing on community media platforms, so please do join us again SABC 1 at 10:30. Thank you very much for tuning in.